in 1985, is this the first time you ever did a video project? We had TJ's his big camera.
Yeah.
Your sister's husband at the time.
Exactly.
Had, I mean.
Yeah, he was a techno geek.
Yeah, total techno geek, and he had an old school. I mean, camera on the shoulder, bag, tape in the side, like broadcast quality in 84, 85.
For that point.
Oh, it was amazing, and for whatever reason, he let you borrow it one weekend.
Right.
And I was visiting a visitation, right? And we just decided let's make a movie.
Right.
But at that point, how did you think you were going to edit it?
Well, I think I had.
Well, you obviously had another VCR.
Right. We had. We used the second VCR.
Yeah.
And basically,
So we record all the footage of whatever we're going to do.
Right.
And then literally find it, play, record, pause.
Right.
But you also then took the rough edit, right?
Right.
Put that back in that camera. Then you pipe in the music.
Right.
So now you're hitting play and trying to make sure the music comes on at the same time.
In time with the video.
And so you've lost one degradation of
one generation.
One generation, then another generation.
Oh yeah,
just to get the music on. And on top of that, I had to do a voiceover.
Right, that's right. You had to do a voiceover in certain sections.
Well, yeah, but we had to do it live.
Yeah, but I could just record you at that point in the voiceover. I didn't have to just run the whole thing. I would just say, okay, here, now you got to talk.
But then how would you have played that and the music? At that point, did you have a mixer?
Either that, or
I think
we had audio separate, and then I added it. I put it in where it needed to go.
There would have been no time to. But I'm still trying to figure out how you. It was difficult, I think, is what we're trying to get across here.
Because I mean, obviously, I didn't have the income or the money to be able to buy top-notch broadcast equipment.
Of course.
So you do it with what you have, and
that being said, that's what actually inspired me, because I'm 9 years old and I'm in a movie.
Right. Oh yeah.
I'm in a movie. None of my friends were in a movie, and this wasn't like a home movie. We had titles. We put titles on.
Right.
We drew it on the ground and just.
And we had edits in there, from different angles and different shots to illustrate what was going on.
You remember the door, the swinging door?
Yes, and we
Total
had
luck.
Yeah, he's coming out of the porch and the door swings
from
behind. And then I thought, well, we got to get it from the front. So he goes back in and we shoot it again, and boom, we hit it again.
Yeah. So I think what was exciting was that we were both discovering the magic of editing.
And video.
Right.
I mean, video in general.
Editing.
Right.
How to pace for story. How to pace,
and what shots you need in order to tell the story.
Right.
Because sometimes a single shot won't tell the story.
And what I think is funny is that I went back and re-edited it in 2007, I believe.
Okay.
Because what we ended up doing was 17 minutes long.
Well, that's true.
And it's only because there's no way to actually cut it down. You're doing it live. Play, pause, play. And when you got. And the true edit, if you had the time, it's like 8 minutes.
Yeah.
So. Yeah. But how do you know when you can't watch it all in a row? How do you know how long that driving scene should be? You can't feel it unless you can sit down.
Exactly right.
So.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, we did that a couple times, and then you did not get your own video camera, I believe, until 90. Gosh. 90.
Well, I got one. When did
1990.
We did Slick Tracy.
Yeah, but it was when Kenny was born. You got it. That's why you got it.
That's right.
Late 89,
right.
90.
Right.
And you did this whole thing, videotaping yourself when Kenny was gonna be born.
Right. Exactly.
And then you had 2 of those types of cameras.
Well, what happened was the first camera got damaged somehow.
No, I remember how it was. We were shooting Slick Tracy, and you're walking up the steps. You were holding it down here, and you hit a step.
With it. Right.
But we had already booked everybody there. Parents are dropping off kids. You had to go out and buy a new one.
I had to go out and buy a new one, and then had that one repaired. But then you got that
fixed.
And then I got that one fixed, so I ended up with 2.
But that made it very easy to do it because they were the exact same models.
Exactly.
So they looked great.
By the way, still have them.
Do you still
work.
have them?
They still work.
Wow.
I've actually thought about using them for effect. like videotape in 1084 or 1080p, you know, and then put another a 4x3 in there.
And it'll look exactly the same. Well, I did that. You saw that guy brought an old camera like
this. Over here.
And it was actually unsettling how weird it felt to see my life now, but in 30 years old technology.
Right, right.
Because all the filters in the world can't do it perfect.
No. Yeah, nothing like analog.
There's something weird about analog that they can come close, but boy, can you.
Well, that's like analog recordings and digital recordings.
Yeah.
Some people like the warmth of analog. They just like.
Yeah. So you got the bug. Obviously, I got the bug.
Right.
I mean,
you definitely.
By the time
you wrote the movie and you did the parts and.
Well, yeah. Once I realized I get to make a movie, I got all my friends together and we made Slick Tracy instead of Dick Tracy.
Right.
And oh my God!
I gotta tell you one thing about that movie that was because it was about a pool tournament. So anybody that has ever
to the Golden 8 Ball, we just used whatever.
But anybody that's ever been to a real 9-ball tournament knows that not all the players line up at the table at the same time and all break at the same time. But for a fact, because we really thought we were Hollywood junkies, we decided to make it really cool.
Well, you were the director, dude.
That's right.
Can't blame anybody.
I said, okay, everybody, we're gonna shoot this, and everybody has to break at the same time.
Did you know that YouTube just took that off YouTube now after God? What was it?
What's that?
It's been on YouTube for 9 years. I just got a copyright strike.
Really?
Yeah,
for what?
Copyrighted music. Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
What are you gonna do?
Well, we start our own YouTube channel.
No. What do you mean? You can't. It's got copyrighted music in it.
Okay, well, we start our own and make it a private thing, and only certain people can have the link.
Oh, well, yes. If nobody could see it, then it would be all right. But either way.
Either that, or we send everybody a thumb drive with it.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess it's just frustrating because YouTube used to just be a nice way. It's not like we were making any money on it.
Well, right.
Like 90
and I really think that should be the criteria.
Yeah.
If you're selling the product, then you should be paying the royalties.
Right.
But if you're not selling the product, I mean, I've had the same thing happen to me with family videos.
Yeah.
You know, and I go, and now when I tell people, I said, listen, let us just compose the music for this thing.
Yeah.
I said, because they're going to nail it.
Right.
You know, and they do. You know,
they
like one family video, they really liked Sinatra music. Holy cow, those people came down. I think that thing wasn't even up 2 hours.
Right.
And they were
on. If you make it unlisted, I think you can get away with it.
Unlisted? What do you mean unlisted?
You got public, you got private, you have unlisted.
Oh, yeah, okay, I see what you're saying.
If you make it unlisted, just give everybody the link, no problem. If it can't be searched for, then you can probably get away.
And that's probably
something to think of.
Right.
But I mean, the point was more that, man, once you realize what you can do, your head explodes. Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like, we can make movies, and
well, and then about that same time, I got a 16-channel recording board.
Right.
So now I could take that 8-channel recorder.
Right.
And I could, mix the first 8 channels, bring them down to 2.
Right.
Got 6 more.
Yeah.
So all the stuff that I did back in the late 60s that I was experimenting with came in real handy.
Now it got easy.
And now it got easier.
Well, but I mean, feasible, I guess, is even the word.
And actually, my first CD was done that way.
Right.
People to this day don't believe it's an analog recorder.
Well, my first CD was too.
Right, that's
same
true.
thing. I remember you saying, hey, now we can do, this was in 1991, you got an 8-track that allowed, you said you can do an a cappella song, like Bobby McFerrin.
Right.
That's when I did Thursday.
Right.
And, you having access to all that just blew my head up because I had all these ideas, but I'm a kid, so I don't have, ways to do it. So, that and when the video editing really hit me, it wasn't just us making those movies together. It was when Jordan scored 69 points. And I said, can we make a video with music of him scoring, the highlight reel?
Still with the 2 cameras.
Yeah, still with the 2 cameras. So and then eventually, by the time I got my own camera, I got my 2 VCRs, and I made that Jordan documentary, the 1995 one, that now has like 1 million views, because I hid it for so long. That's the funny thing is back in 95 when I did it, I got to sit courtside with Michael Jordan.
Right.
Got to be in the locker room with Michael Jordan, and of course I brought a camera.
Of course you did.
I bought a camera that day.
Unbeknownst to Michael Jordan.
Of course, yes. And I made a little documentary, and but I made it and I showed him and like 2 other people, and then I put it in a closet. The hell are you going to do with it? I couldn't sell it. It was clearly illegal. And then in 2010, YouTube changed their times. There used to be a limit of how big it could be. And they bumped it to 15 minutes, and now it's unlimited. But it was 15 minutes, and I went, ooh, I got an idea. And oof, boy, when I put that up, Washington Post did a story, like, it was crazy, because it was all from an angle nobody ever seen before.
Right.
So, yeah, no, you were the genesis of every single thing that I do. It's bizarre. Everything.
But you're braver than I would have ever been.
Of course.
You know, I mean, you'll take a camera just about. I mean, when you took it on the Sopranos shot,
and I got caught.
And you got caught.
Yeah.
But they didn't take the camera.
Oh, they almost. I mean, Gandolfini was a nice dude, man. I mean, he caught me.
Yeah.
And
what did he do? He went like this. He went no, or something.
No, he was. We were at the Bada Bing. This is the worst story, man.
But it's a great story,
It's
man.
the worst story.
Or you were scared to death because I remember you sent me something from there because you went into the bathroom or something and pulled out.
There's video of it. So I'm on the set of The Sopranos, and I'm thinking. Well, actually, I was on it before, and he canceled.
But you were an extra.
I was an extra. It was just a guy sitting in the
So
Bada
it
Bing.
wasn't like you snuck on the set.
But no, I was on it. I was on legitimately. He canceled. He had some contract negotiations that day, so I left and I never got to see him.
Right.
I kind of figured out the whole place, the bar and all that, whatever. So then as I'm leaving New York, I get a call saying, oh, if you're willing to do it, he's coming back for this Tuesday, and we turn the limo around, and now this time I'm prepared. I'm like, well, let's see what happens. So I just held a camera in my coat, big coat, and he comes out or whatever, and you got the Bada Bing bar here, and then there's like this higher place up here.
Right.
Naked ladies dancing here, and they're all up here, and I'm right here. And so I'm sitting in the bar, and I would just go like this for like 2-3 seconds, close it, knowing later I'd cut together a little story. Like, I'm on the last season of The Sopranos.
Right.
And I'm thinking I'm the fucking smartest person in the world. Right? I'm like, dude, nobody knows what I'm doing. And so I have my shirt closed one time, and I look up, and
oh, this is great.
Mr. Gandolfini has literally been watching me, and he's just over here like this, right in my eye. And he just does that.
Oh, okay. I thought he did it with his finger.
No, he just as dead in the eye as you could be. No, like this. And then he doesn't stop looking at me. And he's angry. And he's dressed like Tony Soprano. Like this.
So he is totally Tony Soprano right now.
What's weird is every actor who's ever acted with him has certainly felt that presence.
I'm sure.
But they're both actors. They all cut. It's not real. This was real.
Yeah, right.
I was going to jail. And he was dressed like Tony Soprano. So it was just like the most intense moment of my life. And he wouldn't stop freaking looking in my eyes. And I'm like, I said yes. And I'm just waiting. Like, can you please look away? So he goes like this. He keeps looking at me. He walks backwards. And he whispers something to the director, still looking at me, and then comes back down. And, I mean, I know it feels like an hour, probably about 90 seconds into it, which is a long time.
It's a long time.
And they call for extras to leave the set.
You suppose you were the reason for that?
No, it's just time for the extras to leave. Okay. And I jet out, and I have something in my eye. I jet out, and I run into the bathroom. I take the tape out. I put a blank tape in, just because, hey, man, if they take my camera, I was like, and I took video of my hand shaking.
Yeah, that's what you sent me.
And I was laughing because I couldn't control my hands. And I waited, and I waited, and I waited. And I was like, they're going to come. Obviously, he saw me. I'm shooting the set of The Sopranos on the final season. This is, nothing happens. So they call for extras to go back downstairs. And part of me is thinking, you probably better just catch a bus out of here. Right? Like, why would you? But, so I go back down. And
a normal person would have called a bus.
I mean, at this point, I'm like, well, they haven't gotten me yet. It'd been like an hour. I think we had lunch or whatever. So
Did they actually let you eat?
Nobody. I don't think he ever said anything. Here's what happened. I go back down, and they needed one extra to go outside with him at where the bar opens. So they'd yell action. The extra comes out, and he crosses. So it just looks like a working. They pick me. They pick me, man. And I should be excited, but I'm like, oh my God. So I go out there, and I got to stand next to him. And he's right next, and I am. And of course, they do it like 8 times.
Sure they do.
So, I mean, and I don't know if he's. Did he set this just to fuck with me? I feel like He just wanted to scare the shit out of me.
Maybe that's what he said to the director inside.
Hey,
he probably said, when we do this shoot outside, I want you to pick this guy right here. Just pick this. He says, I want to scare the shit out of him.
He's just like, yes, I'm getting into character. I'm like, all right. And we did it over and over and over. They cut it out. It's not in the goddamn show. But you do see like a silhouette of me, and you can see that I was there. But
right.
they cut out that scene where he comes in.
Too bad you don't have footage of that.
I know, right? It exists somewhere. He comes in and they tell him Hesh's girlfriend died.
Oh, okay.
And if you remember that episode, you're not certain if Tony did it or not.
Right.
So, I mean, I wonder if maybe they, who knows why they cut it. Cutting room floor. But that was my big moment to be seen as,
And didn't you say something? It was like, nice working with you?
Oh, so after it's all done, I had the temerity to go up to him.
See, I could never, not in a million years would
Well,
I
I didn't really meet him before this, right? So I shook his hand, like, nice working with you. And he gave me this look, and they laughed at me like, oh, you think that was working together? Like, who do you think you are? And he's like, yeah. And he walks off.
Did he shake your hand?
Oh, yeah, he shook my hand.
Okay,
and he walks off, and I got video of him walking off and never told anybody. I even put the footage on YouTube. Still up there. I mean, it's not much footage to it,
Right.
But I mean, I didn't advertise it. It takes some searching to find it, but it is out there. Yeah, crazy story.